This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Prospecting push. Mining claims spike after the Premier's call for more resource development. Cancelled appointments. Patients of an Amherst area pain clinic say they're suffering without care. And Mary, Queen of Socks. A Nova Scotia woman collects more than 20,000 sock donations for those in need.
A quieter weekend overall with the flurries easing. The winds persisting on Saturday, but temperatures on the rise and still watching late Sunday into Monday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. After Premier Tim Houston opened his arms to resource development this year, industry responded. There was a jump in applications for exploration licenses in 2025. As Taryn Grant reports, two particular areas are getting a lot of attention.
This is a sedimentary basin that's known to have a number of critical minerals.
Geologist Bob Stewart has been watching closely as natural resource companies staked claims on large swaths of Nova Scotia this year. He says his industry was buzzing this week when multinational mining giant Rio Tinto snatched up dozens of exploration licenses in Hants County. Rio Tinto told CBC it's in the early stages of exploring for copper in this area around Walton. It's not yet working on the land, just looking at historical data and government surveys. Copper is in high demand because of its frequent use as a conduit in all things electrical. Another cluster of claims were staked earlier this year in Cumberland County. Here, some companies are targeting white hydrogen. Nova Scotians have heard mostly about green hydrogen, which is synthesized in a plant. White or natural hydrogen is extracted from underground. Doing it at commercial levels is only a theory, but companies are eager to turn it into a reality to provide a non-carbon emitting energy source. One Canadian businessman honed in on Nova Scotia this year after scanning the geology of several Atlantic provinces.
And that really encouraged us and pushed us towards Nova Scotia versus the other provinces. You know, the vision that the Premier had to create an energy superpower in Nova Scotia.
So far in 2025, the province has issued more than 800 exploration licenses. More applications are pending. It surpasses the previous high watermark set in 2022, when there was a rush on lithium exploration, as global prices for that mineral surged. This rush comes after Premier Tim Houston said in January that he was opening the door to more resource development. He has faced pushback from many people, but geologists, prospectors, and the mining industry are not generally among them.
We're glad that it has happened, that work can be closer to home, that you don't have to travel to West Africa.
This rush on exploration is just a first step to development. For the few exploration efforts that actually pan out, it typically takes 15 years or more to go from mineral claim to production. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
One of Nova Scotia's richest families is in line to buy the timberland holdings controlled by Northern Pulp for $235 million. The Bragg family announced Thursday that it was the successful bidder for 173,000 hectares of forest, along with other assets, following an auction last month. The auction was part of Northern Pulp's creditor protection process. John Bragg, the billionaire CEO and founder of the Bragg Group, said in a statement that the family is dedicated to good forestry practices. Industry officials, meanwhile, are welcoming the news that the land will be in the control of a well-known local company.
They're very diligent and they're very active. So, you know, when they harvest, they replant, they reforest, they tend their forest, and they look after special places as well. So they're a very good corporate citizen. One of their subsidiary companies is Bragg Lumber, a very large landowner in Nova Scotia, and they've proven a very good track record, and I believe they're very proud of it too as well. And they're members of Forest Nova Scotia as well. So we're very pleased.
The deal is subject to court approval next week. The Nova Scotia government is the backup bidder for the land and would be in line to buy it if Bragg cannot close the deal. A 27-year-old man is in hospital with serious injuries after a stabbing in downtown Halifax early this morning. Police say the incident took place at the intersection of Barrington and Richmond Streets just before 4 a.m. Responding officers say they found a man suffering from stab wounds. Police believe the incident began with a verbal dispute among a group of people and then escalated into a physical altercation. Halifax Council has passed pieces of its regional plan with the aim of fast-tracking housing. They include changes mandated by the PC government, like removing bedroom mix requirements and reducing ground floor commercial space in new buildings. At a public hearing on Thursday, residents and councillors said this will actually hurt housing affordability and walkable communities. Many said it was a provincial overreach to require these changes, while rejecting others council approved months ago.
The province has the reins on this process, and it's effectively stripped council of any authority that they hold over our municipal affairs. And so staff are still doing the work, but ultimately if the province gets the final stamp of approval, it kind of renders this process void a little bit.
Councillors say they hope to bring in changes the province rejected, like expanded buffer zones around watercourses next year. And it's that time of year. Halifax's overnight winter parking ban takes effect on Monday. Bans can occur before, during, or after a snow event. Compliance officers will be ticketing vehicles that obstruct sidewalk snow removal. HRM says there will be enhanced enforcement around hospitals, schools, bus routes, and challenging areas. And Ryan's here with a first look at the weather, and it sounds like that parking ban is pretty well timed.
Yeah, Monday is certainly going to be an interesting day, no question. We've got a system that's going to be passing just to the south and could be dropping some accumulating snow. Yeah, look at this. This was taken in Bible Hill today. This from Kim Grant, and yeah, 20-30 centimeters locally today from Kentville area across through Hants County to Truro. Look at this intense snow squall. Note the timeline here through Friday morning. It was really intense. In fact, most of the day, Kentville and then just south of Truro and through Hants County, this was dropping a lot of snow, bringing localized blowing snow and whiteout conditions. Current radar, things are starting to taper off here, but still flurries and blowing snow locally with those gusty winds persisting into Saturday. Thankfully, Saturday is a calmer day overall. We'll see some sunshine in the mix. And then we've got our next system moving in, and we'll see some showers mixed with flurries Sunday, turning to some accumulating snow late Sunday in through Monday as this storm passes to our east. More on this coming up with your full forecast in just a few.
Lots to talk about. All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Patients at an Amherst area pain clinic say they are struggling without care. The clinic at the Cumberland Regional Healthcare Centre has been on pause for recent months. And as the CBC's Luca Ettinger reports, there are few details on when the service would resume.
Nova Scotia Health says it is committed to pain clinic services in Amherst, but for the better part of 3 months, patients have gone without care. Concerns about the clinic's future arose this past summer when appointments weren't booked past September. The doctors who provide the care and Nova Scotia Health have been at odds over the safety of a new care space for some services in the Cumberland Regional Healthcare Centre. Nova Scotia Health says discussing details in public could jeopardize the ongoing discussions with doctors.
I can say that we are watching closely, but currently we are not in the middle of it. If that's required in the future, we will consider it.
Thompson says the province hopes to recruit more pain specialists, but an area MLA says staffing is not the issue.
We have 2 doctors that want to provide a service, and they're being forced to practice in a different location in the hospital, which they have been very clear to the management of Nova Scotia Health that it is not safe to practice.
The closure was a key issue at a public meeting hosted by Nova Scotia Health in Amherst in November. Norma Stevens is among the patients who feel left in the dark and showed up to voice their frustration.
At this point, I've missed 2 pain treatments, and I'm finding it hard to do much at all, to be honest.
Patients say they've either not been offered care elsewhere or face years-long wait lists at other clinics in Nova Scotia.
People are being denied basic care that they need, and people should not be made to suffer like this. I personally think it's criminal. It's wrong. It's wrong. And there's no excuse for it.
Patients have previously protested the clinic closure. Now some are considering what legal action could be taken for what they call unnecessary pain and suffering. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Truro.
Visitors and patients will have to walk through a new AI-powered weapons screening system at 2 Halifax area hospitals starting Saturday. Nova Scotia Health says the new technology will be in place at the main entrances and emergency entrances of the QE2 Halifax Infirmary site and Dartmouth General Hospital. The system is being introduced after a successful pilot project at the Colchester East Hants Health Centre in Truro. The authority says prohibited items will be confiscated and may be turned over to police. Security staff will be on hand to answer questions.
It's a metal detection device, but it is able to ascertain the difference between common things that a person might carry that has metal, like a cell phone, a bracelet, or something like that, versus an actual weapon. So what happens is we have much less what we call secondary searches.
The AI-powered units will be installed at 10 more sites across the province over the next 6 months. Well, Dartmouth's so-called Queen of Socks has been dropping off thousands of pairs to shelters after receiving a record number of donations this year. Mary Crosby's group Socks for Shelters has been busy collecting socks to help out people in need during the winter months. And as Gareth Hampshire explains, she continued her campaign this year in spite of undergoing heart surgery.
Socks are among the most needed items in shelters in Nova Scotia, and Mary Crosby has made it her mission to try to meet the growing demand. She launched her group, Socks for Shelters, years ago, and it now has thousands of members.
It's such a need out there, and we see it everywhere, and that's why I think people know it's so important for these people to get the help they need.
The more than 22,000 pairs she has collected this year is the most ever for the group. She's earned the nickname the Queen of Socks for her efforts and says more people want to donate, knowing so many need help in Halifax. There are even people who stop her in stores or on the street to contribute to the cause.
I had a woman running across the parking lot, sock lady, I want to donate. Or when I get to the other side of the till, there's already socks there waiting for me.
Schools, seniors' homes, apartment buildings, churches, and a number of companies have contributed to the drive along with her friends, who've also supported her while recovering from heart surgery in October.
I don't understand how she's doing what she's doing. This is like a full-time job for Mary now, plus her sickness on top of it, and she just trudges through it every day.
She's healing well, she says, and the sock campaign is good for her heart. 8,000 pairs are going to Souls Harbour Rescue Mission. The charity says they're an essential item.
Just imagine a day when you've been out and your feet are cold or your feet are wet, and you have the option to go home and change into a warm pair of socks, clean pair of socks. A lot of people don't, and that's what they go through every single day. And when your feet are cold, the rest of you doesn't feel well.
The socks will be handed out through the 9 drop-ins Souls Harbour has in the province. Crosby's grateful so many people are a part of her drive and says donations are still coming in. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Halifax.
CBC listeners filled our studio in Halifax this morning to watch a live production of Information Morning Nova Scotia. It's part of our annual holiday drive called Make the Season Kind, where CBC stations across the country raise money for local food banks with the help of local musicians and community members. Have a look.
Yes, it is great to see you all. We are filling up quickly here, but there's plenty of space down here. I'm Portia Clark, and this is Megan Smith with Jason Mingo.
What is it about Christmas and fall a lot of falling? There's snowflakes in the air, but there's still an old flame burning. What is it about Christmas that makes me fall in love with you? What is it about snowflakes caught up in your eyelashes? We hold hands around the ice rink, and I love how warm your laugh is. What is it about Christmas?
And a live look through the lens of our Harbour Cam on this Friday night. We've got Ryan Snoddon coming up next with his full weather forecast. We're back on the other side of the break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, we've got Ryan back with his full forecast, and of course the weekend is here.
Yep.
Sounds quiet for the most part.
Yeah.
Until we get to the end, right?
Until we get to the end and talking about Sunday, Monday. And, you know, this is one that we've been watching all week, which actually is a nice segue to the fact that I was talking to some school kids on Wednesday. We were talking about this because, of course, the school kids all want to know about the potential snow days, right?
Right.
So have a look at this. This is our class, my virtual visit this week from the grade 5s at St. Catherine's School here in Halifax. And they were all very keen to know whether there was the potential for a snow day on Monday.
Oh, I know. What about the spoon under the pillow?
Right, and flush ice cubes down the toilet. I think that's another one. All for good luck for a snow day. And yeah, it does look like the potential for some disruptive snow Sunday night into Monday for sure. We'll touch on that first. Temperatures out there right now, 0 to -7. Antigonish is our coolest spot right now. Note the winds. They indeed have been a factor all day today, sustained 20, 30, 40, 50 kilometers per hour. Westport, Grand Etang sustained at 60, gusting to 74 there right now. And it has been a nasty day on the roads for particularly across the 101, Kings County, Hants County, also into southern Colchester County, and of course across Cape Breton. And those snow squall watches and warnings remain in effect as of around 6:20 local time, Atlantic time as of now, but it is expected those watches and warnings will be dropped this evening as these squalls continue to ease through the next couple of hours. But a couple more centimeters, certainly not out of the question over the next 2-3 hours in through the central parts of the province and across into Cape Breton, where those squalls will be even more relentless, where we could see another 10 to 20 centimeters over the highlands in northern Inverness. Look at the cold air pooling down here. Currently, -26 in Regina, -31 in Saskatoon, -35 in Yellowknife. This is a cold shot of air. And yeah, it is definitely winter time across Canada. An early start for all of us. -3 to -6 for the mainland tonight. -4 in through Cape Breton. And you'll note that those squalls easing here over the next hour or so, or hour or two here across the mainland, but they are going to persist across Cape Breton, even southern Antigonish and into Richmond County. Some light local accumulation, but it's mainly northern Inverness into Victoria County that will continue to see those onshore flurries and squalls for Saturday. Note the winds easing into the afternoon, but still gusting 30, 40 kilometers per hour. It's a late day drop off with some winds that are only going to be gusting likely 20 to 30, which will be nice for Saturday evening. And then that next weather maker will start to build in. We'll pick up that part of the story in a moment. Temperatures tonight, or for Saturday, will be right near the freezing mark. 2 on the plus side, Yarmouth down through Shelburne. Most of us will be riding near the freezing mark. Those winds 20 gusting to 40, except gusting 50 and 60 kilometers per hour in through Cape Breton. Note the wind chill factors for tomorrow morning into the minus double digits and teens for most of us. Still feeling chillier than the freezing mark for sure. Temperatures, again, will be feeling that way, but the wind chill values will be cooler than that. Sunday. Temperatures 1 to 3 in most cases, near the freezing mark in Kentville. This is actually our best chance of seeing some accumulation throughout the day on Sunday as this little wave pushes through. Some mixing with showers along the Atlantic coastline, especially the eastern shore and into Cape Breton. And then for Sunday afternoon, the shower and flurry mix changes right over to accumulating snow. And the question really all week is how quickly this low will develop into a big storm. And it's going to be a big storm for Newfoundland Monday into Tuesday. But the models have been really disagreeing on whether it becomes a big storm just south of us. And if it does, that's where we would get into more of these heavy accumulating snows. Right now, it looks like it's going to wait and develop into a big storm over Newfoundland, which would mean, yeah, we'll get into some onshore flurries and squalls for Cape Breton and northern parts of the province. But for Nova Scotia as a whole, it looks like we'll range between about 5 to 15 centimeters of snow. Those heavier amounts looking more likely towards the east and into Cape Breton. And again, as those squalls develop late Monday into Monday night. This is where we would start to really see some of those higher totals that could push up towards the 20 to 25, 30 centimeter mark, especially over the highlands. But still lots of uncertainty with this, so stay tuned to the forecast throughout the weekend as things that could need to be updated. Snow will taper to flurries through Monday with some breezy winds and the cold air pools back in, but a warm up. 7-8 degrees maybe by next Friday, so we'll maybe do a bit of a roller coaster ride next week.
That's right, that snow may not last.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
For over 30 years, Maureen Doyle Gillingham has kept a shed full of beautiful secrets behind her home in Ochre Pit Cove in Newfoundland. Over 1,000 nativity scenes cover every inch of wall space in her backyard shed. Though collected from places all around the globe, they all tell the same Christmas story. Have a look.
So with the help of my husband, we built this little shed. Every man got a shed, so I kind of figured, why not a woman? So welcome to my nativities from all over the world. You are currently visiting me in my nativity shed in Ochre Pit Cove, Conception Bay, Newfoundland. So welcome. What you'll find here is a collection of nativities from all over the world that I've been collecting for the last maybe 35, 40 years. I have some of them cataloged and some of them indexed, but I kind of lost count in the last couple of years. So I estimate anywhere between 1,200 plus. The reason why I like them so much is the story of baby Jesus, I guess, resonates with a lot of us, most of us in the Christian world. As a young child, I was fascinated with going to the church. And then as I got older, I did a religion degree. You know, I saw a couple, I liked them. Sometimes I bought one or two, and then people started giving them to me as gifts. And after a while, I had a lot of nativities. Most people just stop at the doorstep and are in awe that, you know, there's so many, and that they're cataloged to a point, and that they're so different. But yet they tell the same story. Some of the first I actually remember, this one came from St. Joseph's Oratory in Montreal, and Roger and I had occasion to visit Montreal. This one is one of my favorite ones. So the Murano glass collection, if anybody has occasion to go to Italy. And about 5 years ago, I was on Marketplace, and there was one on Marketplace from, it said Murano, so I trust that it is. And the one in the corner was crafted by a gentleman in Winterton, and it was crafted out of a pew in the Anglican church over there, and it depicts the Newfoundland manger scene.
The fire that happened over the summer, the Kingston fire, came quite close.
Yes, well actually when the fire occurred, as most residents of the North Shore, I didn't know if the house was standing or anything around it. So when we got back the end of August, and I came around, I said, oh my God, the nativity shed. And as I tell people, and I still tell people, you know, I sat down and cried. I didn't know if I cried because our house was saved or because the shore was destroyed. So, but it's beautiful to see. We never damaged one of them here at all, not one. You know, when people come in here, there's not a lot of conversation. It's just a lot of, you know, looking and touching and, you know, it's almost like a eureka moment. Not because necessarily of the amount, but just like when they touch a particular one, they'll say, you know, it resonates beauty, you know, and then they'll say, you know, imagine all these nativities for, you know, Christmas. And I'm like, well, there's a story behind it, right? And they, so for me, it's calming. It's been therapeutic on times, and it's just been a labor of love.
Coming up, taking stock of the Atlantic fishery in a year-end interview with Federal Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson. The Atlantic fishery is one of the region's most valuable industries, and it's full of controversy, including long-standing conflicts between Mi'kmaq First Nations and non-Indigenous commercial fishers. For a look at how 2025 has unfolded for the industry here in Nova Scotia, I'm joined now by Federal Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson. So this portfolio has been a bit of a revolving door. You're the 5th fisheries minister, I believe, in 7 years. What are you doing differently than your predecessors?
Well, I think, first of all, it's lovely to speak with you. And I want to be very clear. I am honored to have this role. And I think rather than, what I do differently, I think we all bring something unique and different to the role. My perspective, it is really about beginning at the place of engagement. And understanding that what we need to do in the fishery to ensure that we have a sustainable industry into the future is really understand the balance between the conservation sustainability of the sector and also link that to the very real reality of the economic benefits of the fishery and necessity of this industry to so many of our rural coastal Indigenous communities. And it's that space in between both of those pillars that I really use as the decision-making space. And that decision-making space involves science, of course, but it also very much is linked to active engagement with harvesters, processors, and all involved in the sector. And, to that end, I'm very honored to say that over the last number of months, I've visited the country coast to coast to coast, spent quite an amount of time in beautiful province of Nova Scotia. And, we will achieve what we need to achieve to ensure we have a strong fishery for the future.
Right. Now,
when we do that work together.
Commercial fishermen in southwest Nova Scotia say they've noticed an increase in enforcement when it comes to fishing outside regulated frameworks. What has changed?
Well, first of all, I really acknowledge the work that the harvesters do to ensure sustainable and safe fishery for all, and I have absolutely been grateful for their input in the work that I've been doing. I made a commitment when I came into this role that I would support an authorized fishing period. And so to that end, we've strengthened the work of the enforcement officers, and I really want to thank them for the work that they do. It's often done in the quiet and out of the public eye, but it is incredibly important work, and I want to thank them. And I also want to thank all involved in the fishery, because ultimately, we will ensure a safe, sustainable industry when we work together.
Now, when it comes to the Elver fishery, are you going to open it up to larger quotas, maybe more participants now that the baby eels won't be listed under the Species at Risk Act?
So, I'm still very much guided by, as I said earlier, by science, by, what I hear from harvesters, those involved in any given fishery, and that determination really sets the next step, which is the weigh-in of the economic reality of any fisheries sector to people's livelihoods, to the communities. And certainly if, the science and that joint conversation on what's seen on the water, on the wharves, as we say in Newfoundland and Labrador, and what science is telling us, if that's strong, then certainly, I always want to balance economic opportunities.
Now, you're negotiating with the Sabaganagadi First Nation. How do you get a negotiated settlement with them if they aren't allowed to fish outside of the commercial season?
Look, what I will say there is, we have to always remain in dialogue. I met with the chief and many of the councillors just a week ago, and my door is always open, and it's open to continue to dialogue and, ensure that there's equity and ensure that we remain in partners in this work.
Now, would that mean handing out more licenses to First Nations fishers? Is that the solution?
I'd rather not speak to any of the details. I'll go back to my earlier comments. Fishery has to be balanced on an understanding of the conservation, the health of the species, and our ability to have a sustainable fishery going forward. That's first and foremost. And then second to that is economic benefit for communities, whether it's coastal communities, rural communities, or Indigenous communities, and we work in that balance.
Now, could you ever accept a fisheries that's regulated by two different bodies, a DFO and First Nations?
To that, I can say to you, I am the Minister of Fisheries, and I work with the Fisheries Act, and I remain absolutely open to dialogue with all harvesters and all involved in the industry. And I would like to just very quickly put in something that I think applies across this country, coast to coast to coast, in conversations that I've started to have and really want to continue into the new year, is a urgent need to encourage young people to see the industry as a viable future. We have an very quickly emerging challenge of really a lack of a succession plan across this country. We don't have young harvesters in the numbers that we need to have to ensure that quotas, regardless of where we are in the country, remain in communities. And so the economic benefit of the fisheries remains vital to all of these coastal rural Indigenous communities across the country. So this is something that I really want to speak about more as we move into the future. I've started to have the conversations, but it is an area of concern for me.
All right, we will have to leave it there. Minister, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure.
Coming up, flooding is expected to level off in parts of British Columbia, but there's more rain in the forecast. And another Conservative MP crosses the floor, putting the Liberals just one seat shy of a majority. Welcome back. Hundreds of people remain out of their homes in BC's Fraser Valley from flooding. Nearly 500 properties in Abbotsford remain under an evacuation order, and another 1,000 are on alert. The mayor of Abbotsford provided an update on the situation and had some tough words for the federal government.
We need action, and we need action now. We don't need empty promises from the federal government that they have our back. In fact, the federal government has not even reached out to me during this event. So I'm profoundly disappointed.
Several roads, including part of the Trans-Canada Highway, are closed. All schools in Abbotsford and Chilliwack were closed. Rainfall warnings in the Fraser Valley have now ended for now, but another atmospheric river is expected to drench the region over the weekend, causing new flooding concerns. A flood warning remains in place for the Sumas River. Just south of the border, floodwaters are continuing to rise in Washington state after days of heavy rain. Tens of thousands of residents are under evacuation orders in the western part of the state. U.S. Coast Guard air crews are rescuing people stranded on rooftops.
We have some tension on the line. Okay.
Washington's governor has declared a state of emergency. Water levels on several rivers in the area have hit record highs. Historic flooding has triggered road closures, landslides, and washed out rail lines. Millions of people are under flood alerts. An early Christmas gift for Mark Carney's Liberal government, courtesy of Michael Ma. The former Conservative MP crossed the floor to join the Liberals on Thursday. It was a jaw-dropper because Ma was at the Conservatives' holiday party the day before he jumped ship. Ashley Burke reports.
So let's give a warm welcome to our newest member of the Liberal Party.
A big move that took the Conservatives by surprise. MP Michael Ma joining the Liberals, leaving his party behind.
You are going to have a much better time spending Christmas with us than Christmas with the cranks.
The Liberals now only one seat away from a majority government.
We welcomed over 300,001 new Liberals. And the year's not over. Year's not over. That's all I'm saying.
Some Liberal ministers now claim there are more disgruntled Conservatives that could defect too.
You've seen 2 to date. There are others, that is for sure. Others exist.
I think there's some that will do some soul searching during the vacation.
Chris D'Entremont crossed the floor in November, saying he disagreed with the Conservatives' leadership style. Matt Genereux abruptly announced his resignation. Now Ma has left too.
It's frustrating. It's sad. I think it undermines a healthy culture here because you want to believe you can trust people, and this makes you second guess that.
Conservatives are taking aim at Ma for going to their Christmas party on Wednesday, taking a photo with his family and leader Pierre Poilievre, and accepting a secret Santa gift from a fellow MP, but not giving one out himself.
There's like kind of a dishonorable aspect to this. Like the guy went from doing the conga line at our Conservative Christmas party to literally 24 hours later leaving our party. Also leaving me without a secret Santa gift, by the way, just as a note.
Mr. Ma.
Sources say after Ma voted with the Conservatives in the House yesterday, he met with the Prime Minister and the minister who helped bring him over, who he became friends with because they have neighboring ridings. Not long after that meeting, the Liberals announced they had gained another seat. Now the Conservative MP who gave Ma that secret Santa gift says he wants his Amazon Fire Stick back. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Ontario police say they've cracked 3 cold cases, murders of women that happened in the 1980s and 90s, and all of the cases are connected. As Lisa Shing explains, police are naming one man, now considered a serial killer, as their suspect.
Thank you.
Answers at long last for 3 families tied to 3 separate cold case murders.
These women were never forgotten. And it is because of the commitment of so many that we are able to give their loved ones at least one crucial answer today.
Toronto and Ontario police now say this man, Kenneth Smith, was a serial killer operating over the last 2 decades. He died in 2019 in Windsor, Ontario, at the age of 72.
His death means he will never be held to account in a court of law.
Police say in 1982, Smith killed Christine Prince, a Welsh woman working as a nanny in Toronto, after she had a night out with friends. A year later, Claire Sampson was found dead north of the city, last seen getting into a car with an older man. The third known victim, nursing assistant Gracelyn Greenidge, was beaten to death in her Toronto apartment in 1997.
I've known her for 20 years. She was more like a sister to me.
There were rewards and public pleas like this one, but for decades, the murders went unsolved. Smith was known to police here in Toronto. He had a history of sexual assault and was incarcerated multiple times, but he wasn't connected to these cases until crime scene DNA was untangled and linked to his close relatives.
That's one of the biggest problems with DNA right now, is having a mixture of the offender DNA with the victim's DNA.
This case, another example of police using new techniques to solve complicated old cases.
So this is a process that takes time. This is not as simple as an offender who cuts themselves on a window.
Just the fact they know the police are still looking into things like this gives so many families hope.
With these 3 murders now solved, police say they are now investigating whether there are other victims linked to Smith. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
The first segment of the proposed high-speed rail project has been announced. It will run between Montreal and Ottawa.
This segment represents a unique opportunity to connect 2 provinces and quickly generate benefits for travelers, communities, and the economy.
Construction is set to begin in 2029 and will produce an estimated 50,000 jobs in steel, concrete, electrical, and digital work. Once completed, the full line will run from Toronto to Quebec City with trains that could travel up to 300 kilometers per hour. World Cup tickets went on sale Thursday, and many fans are crying foul over the sky-high prices of tickets. They're even accusing the sport's governing body of a, quote, monumental betrayal. Philip Lishanek reports.
Canadian soccer fans who scored FIFA World Cup tickets say you'd better be fast on your phone and be ready to shell out a lot of cash.
The tickets, it did cost approximately $2,500 each, but honestly, you're paying for the experience, right? Something that, might not happen again in Toronto in our lifetime, right?
For the first time, FIFA has allowed dynamic pricing for tickets to maximize profits. It means tickets for the opening World Cup match in Toronto start at $1,300 and go up to $3,000 each. A small percentage of tickets are supposed to be set aside for committed soccer fans. But this member of the Voyageurs, a group of longtime supporters of Team Canada, still ended up paying almost $2,000 per ticket, making a once-in-a-lifetime event out of reach for many.
I think they should be excited, but basically the pricing just is going to exclude a vast majority of those people that want to go to this event.
This sports analyst says the higher ticket prices will draw criticism, but it's in line with major concerts and sporting events like the Blue Jays World Series run.
So these World Cup pricing is kind of in line with what Torontonians and to a lesser extent people in Vancouver are already used to paying. It is just big market, big event pricing, and it's unfortunate. It means it's going to keep out real fans.
He says prices will fluctuate and expects many games to be in the realm of affordability for some. $300 a ticket once resales on FIFA's exchange marketplace open in mid-December. Still, that might not be enough to tempt some fans. According to a recent Angus Reid survey, 7 in 10 Canadians said World Cup prices are too expensive, and half said if they were given tickets for free, they would sell them. Philip Lishanek, CBC News, Toronto.
We have some amazing one-of-a-kind video to show you next. It's from Canadian researchers, and they say it shows some unlikely friends in the sea off the coast of BC. Researchers found orcas and dolphins banding together to catch salmon. Yasmin Renea has that story.
It's being called an extraordinary discovery. Northern resident killer whales and Pacific white-sided dolphins working together to find salmon.
It's really unique in the animal world to see dolphins and killer whales foraging together.
Scientist and drone pilot Keith Holmes made the discovery off Vancouver Island by accident while conducting another study. Researchers then temporarily attached tags to some whales to watch and listen to their interactions with dolphins.
We could hear their calls and echolocating. But on top of that, we were hearing the dolphins echolocating. And as we started to compare things, we were noticing that the killer whale was going quiet.
Turns out the orcas were listening to the dolphins, who were diving deep into the ocean to search for large Chinook salmon, prey that dolphins can't catch on their own and that are too big for them to eat whole. The orcas then make the kill, sharing the food with their pods, and the dolphins get the scraps.
So it works out for both parties. Everyone's happy at the end of a successful fishing trip.
And it's no fluke. Researchers saw dolphins swim near whales more than 250 times in one summer. Marine experts outside of the study say orcas have had to adapt to changing ecosystems.
It's not surprising that they would learn that in order to survive, especially in this day and age when food may not be as accessible as it once was, that they really do need to work together.
That teamwork could be critical in helping marine mammals deal with noise from ship traffic.
Potentially, it could be advantageous to have cooperative foraging with other animals.
Researchers also wonder if it could offer southern resident killer whales considered endangered in Canada, partly because of a lack of food, a lifeline. Yasmin Ranea, CBC News, Vancouver.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, so lots of Christmas parties on the go.
Yeah.
Seems pretty decent for the most part for the weekend, right?
Yeah,
It's
things
Saturday.
calming down, which is good because today was treacherous driving for parts of the Eastern Valley, Hants County, Colchester County, where those snow squalls were relentless today. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. We'll get to all that in just a second. We're going to zoom in on Oak Island, and we've been back to Oak Island. I think this is the third time in 10 days.
Wow.
Have a
no
look
wonder.
at this.
Look
yeah.
at that.
Michelle.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous picture. A really intense rainbow there.
Two, right? Isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. A bit of a double rainbow. Thanks to Michelle for this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. So the snow squall warning continues. Kings, Hants, and that is going to continue and Colchester South. That is going to continue as we work our way into this evening. But expecting that to ease over the next bit here, next 1 to 2 hours. I think those warnings will end. Also Inverness, North, and Victoria County, I'm expecting those watches and warnings to continue there into the early morning hours of Saturday. Calmer though tomorrow. Winds, you can see still gusting 40, 50, even 60 kilometers per hour for tomorrow into Cape Breton. Flurries move back in on Sunday, mixed with some showers in the Eastern Shore and for you folks in Cape Breton. And a quick look at that timeline with that next system approaching throughout the day on Sunday, that storm developing. Stay tuned for updates this weekend. Looks like maybe 5 to 10, as much as 15 for eastern areas, but stay tuned.
Oh, we will. Well, there are Christmas markets, and then there are award-winning Christmas markets. This one in Croatia's capital has been ranked the best in Europe 3 times in the past. The sprawling winter attraction covers much of Zagreb's city center, turning it into a glittering wonderland.
Visitors can wander around lighted walkways and pop into holiday-themed market stalls, fuel up on Croatian sausages, cabbage rolls, and sip a festive drink before catching a live performance. The iconic ice rink also draws in thousands to lace up for a spin.
That looks like fun.
Yeah, it does.
All right, that's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.
What is it about Christmas?